but they only made up like 15% of the income.
You walk into a room and you see that there's someone about to do something with a suicide note and everything set up. It's just
a guy that doesn't make money is not an eligible human being. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Sandbar with your friendly neighborhood MC, Sandy Paulino. And joining us today is former Miss Pennsylvania, U.S. International, Jennifer Santiago. I was trying not to mess that up. But how you doing, Jen?
What's going on, Sandy?
Not much. So Jen is joining us today. Obviously, you hear the Miss part. So she performs in pageants, but she also is an advocate for mental health awareness and also in the real estate market right now. So, Jen, tell us a little bit about what you do with mental health. Get started with that.
So I do a little bit of everything, but I do have a focus on raising awareness for mental illness, especially now with the pandemic. Typically, we saw numbers like there's 1 in 4 Americans that are struggling with a mental illness. But now that the pandemic has happened, those numbers have risen tremendously. So now we're seeing 1 in 3 Americans that are struggling with a mental illness. So I guess my focus is just having a conversation with people, breaking that ice, and making people understand that this is something that most Americans are currently going through. They're just not speaking on it. I guess for me, it's more important to give the resources that people need, like where to go, who you can speak to, hotlines. Like there's literally numbers where you can call to speak to people about it.
I feel like we see that
totally free.
You see a lot of like hotlines for things, but I think as far as the pandemic and mental health awareness, I like that you're getting involved in that because it's not necessarily, it seems kind of obvious that would happen, but at the same time, we don't really see people out there doing something about it. So I really respect that you're actually taking the initiative to do that. And it's important to talk about, a point that you said was that people don't think that anyone else is going through the struggle. Really, that's not exactly what you said, but you're basically saying that people feel like they're kind of like going through something on their own. And as like, we don't want to take away from the individual experience, but it is nice to connect with other people that are going through the same thing, that kind of have those same feelings about what's going on. So I really do.
Yeah, and I think that's like where group therapy is very beneficial. And
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is, and it's actually amazing because I've heard people that have gone to institutions and or are getting counseling, but they're like in a group setting, and they feel
it's like an AA meeting, sort of kind of thing.
Kind of,
like
in
that,
a way.
That structure? Okay.
But it's different. Every facility does their own different things. But I definitely like you feel like at home. Everyone it's going through the same thing. They just have a different story. But I love it, And
there's also like not a lot of pressure on just one person to talk.
Right.
I think that's a part of it too.
You don't feel judged. And I think that's the key point to this is most people don't want to speak on what they're feeling because we live in a society where they're just like, just brush it off. You'll be fine. Like, don't, especially for men. We grew up like, don't cry. Those for the girls. We cry. But believe it or not, the numbers of individuals who commit suicide are a lot higher in men.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before men.
Yeah, because I don't remember the study specifically, but it said that because of economic struggles, that happens to be one of the biggest reasons for men to commit suicide. Because in this culture, in our society, for the most part, a guy that doesn't make money is not an eligible human being. That's what that's what they made it seem like before. If you weren't making enough money not only to take care of yourself but a household, you were less valuable as a man. So now that they take your job, and if you have a small business, it's even worse because you don't even, like, a lot of them just went underwater and they were paycheck to paycheck already. So now their business is going under and they're not being able to provide for their household. Right. So it's like the mental health crisis that happened within men alone is ridiculous. And then also, I don't remember the number, but I know that a lot of single mothers, there's a lot of cases with single mothers because now their kids are home and they're probably working less, so they're making less money. A lot of them were also
quit their jobs.
Yeah, they quit their jobs to
home.
take care of their kids, and they can't afford a babysitter. And I doubt anyone was really hiring babysitters during the the quarantine.
Yeah. Well, my mom owns a business, and she lost business because of
it's a daycare, right?
Yeah, so not necessarily that she went out of business. Oh, sorry for people who are watching. My mom owns a daycare, so she is a small business owner, and we definitely saw the effect on small businesses with my mom. Her daycare was full, and during the pandemic, some parents had to stay home with their kids, so there was no reason for them to take their kids to daycare. And she saw about like half of the kids that she had were gone within a blink of an eye, within a month.
That's crazy. Yeah, I made this point on another episode where I don't think that we really helped get the kids back into society as much as we should have. I think a lot of the kids the past school year and going into the school year really suffered because of that. And I'm talking more about the younger kids because the older kids, they've already gone through the school system. You know, they're able to kind of like gauge what's going on. But when you're in elementary school, this is so weird to you. You know?
Like starting kindergarten this year too.
Like if you're
you're starting kindergarten, you're virtual, and it's like you already don't know a structure. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, well, for most kids that are 4 and 5, you know, they don't really have a structure. Yeah. So they're kind of learning, okay, nap time is this time. You eat at this time. You do this at this time. So
exactly. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. It's like kindergarten is when you're learning how to be on the schedule.
Right.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So now when they go let's say now that they're going to first grade, if they're able to be in person, it's super weird for them because they don't have the comfort of their own home. They still haven't. They're probably even less social than they would have been before. Because I know a lot of psychological studies show that kids need to be socialized like around the age of 4 and 5. Like that's kind of like the benchmark for how they're going to be doing. No,
that's a good point. Like my youngest sister is premature, and she definitely. You hit the ballpoint when you said that they have to start socializing, but I think even younger than that, because since she was born premature, we needed to keep her away from the outdoors. Yeah, and she needed to be inside a lot. And first time she went to a park or to Chuck E. Cheese, she didn't know how to react. It was like she was just crying and screaming because that's not what she's used to. And in reality, you know, most kids love Chuck E. Cheese. yeah. But she didn't like Chuck E. Cheese because she wasn't used to the other kids. There's other people running, and she's like, "Who's this?" And I don't know. I think it definitely. We're not made to be in one place.
Oh no, for sure. That's a throwback though. Chuck E. Cheese. That's crazy.
I know the pizza. Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
As far as like you told me that you volunteered for an organization before. They were trying to like help families that were suffering with mental illness, and they had a lot of.
Well, so with mental illness, it hits home for me because my someone in my family is struggling with mental illness, and it was to the point where they were suicidal, and I feel that this is something that should be discussed with other families, especially when you don't know exactly what to do. You know, when you're new to something like this, it's like, okay, where do I go? What do I say? What do I not say? Am I doing the right thing? And it's just like a new.
There's not a lot of guidance.
It's not, especially with younger teens. I feel that you don't know what is going through their minds. Like they're going through enough already because they're like, okay, I'm an adult, but not really. Yeah. So there's a lot of confusion within themselves that they're still trying to find themselves. Plus, going through a mental illness at the same time is definitely really tough. I think for me, it was like being that there was a family member that was suicidal and did attempt to commit suicide. I felt like, why should I not speak on this? There's so many other people that are going through this. And I feel like other individuals, you tell them about it, they don't really understand. And then that's where that judgment comes in. And you're just like, well, I'm just going to keep this to myself. I don't really think I should share my story. But I just feel that that's a front that most people are putting.
Yeah. It's a lot harder to do that now, though, during these times, because everyone has had to kind of like sit in their feelings and sit with people that are going through mental illness. You know, something in my family that was also going on. I have somebody in my family that suffers from certain mental illnesses. And in the beginning, when they were younger, like, our family had no idea that was even possible. You know, especially Latinos, it's like we don't.
It's not within our culture.
No, it's like you're either the regular social, like, loud and you know, dramatic Latino, or if you're like a little quiet, a little reserved, or if you have some sort of minor mental illness, you're crazy. You know, like that. There's no in between.
There's that term. There's that C word that's attached to it. I think that's what people are afraid of, is that C word. Yeah, like getting that judged.
And there's so much more into it. Like, it honestly, when you put that label on it, you kind of like you really hold back that person from being able to deal with what they're dealing with.
Right.
When in turn, if you were just, now what our family does is that we're much more receptive, much more responsive to that person, and like the progress is ridiculous.
I think it's also like a lot of people don't believe in psychiatric help. Yeah. I feel like it's like frowned upon, especially like you said, our culture. Yeah. It's like, muchacha, like, snap out of it, like, you'll be fine. Like you grab an escoba and you start cleaning, it'll snap out of it.
Throw some hydrogen peroxide on it.
And I think that it's huge. You know, and my family was the first time that we've heard about it, we've seen it on TV, but when you live it, it's different. When you're living it, right? When you walk into a room and you see that there's someone about to do something with a suicide note and everything set up, it's just I guess it makes you see life differently, and it makes you be more understanding of other people's struggles, because I think we're just living a me society. Everything's about me, and she's fine, she's eating, no big deal, but I think it's okay for us to occasionally check up on our friends and be like, hey, is everything okay?
We should. We get lost in kind of like the fast-paced enjoying life part, but we forget about, you know, being okay at the end of the journey.
Agreed.
We forget about the mental aspect, because now there's a lot of it's kind of trendy to be healthy now physically, like to work out and to eat healthy. But now I think we're kind of getting to the importance of mental illness, and it's always been important. But I think now as a society, we're like, hey, we got to focus on this. People are more, well, they care more. It became more personal, you know? So I really feel like something like what you're doing and talking about it and just letting people know it's okay to be struggling, and it's okay for you to tell people that you're struggling, is super important. Just to, I guess, switch gears a little bit here. What kind of got you into your pageants, you know?
Yeah, so for pageants, for me, it was about self-confidence.
Okay.
I've always had a passion for being on stage. I was just too shy to get on stage.
Okay.
But definitely the passion started when I was like 13, 14. And then eventually when I was 17, I said, okay, I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to go on a stage. And I fell in love with it. Like, I didn't win. I think I placed like third place or second place.
And your first one?
It was like a modeling contest, but it wasn't like the actual top, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Like, it was like separate awards. I definitely enjoyed my experience there, winning or not winning. But later,
you like the process.
Yeah, I guess it's also like the growing up Latina, for example. You're always told the man should make a little bit more than you. You should know how to cook and clean, because if you don't, then no one's gonna want to marry you. Like, it's little things like this that, okay, it's important for you to learn how to cook and clean, but that's not all to life. Like, that's not all about being a woman.
And the man should be able to do some of that too.
I agree.
But,
like, no offense, Sandy, but and I think it was more of like the movement that pageantry has. It's more like, okay, women, we work, but we cook clean, but we also work, and we also want to be respected as women. We want to take up space in the society. We want to be able to do things for ourselves. We don't want to just focus on, we're going to do this for our man. Like, not necessarily that's a bad thing, but
it can't be everything.
It can't be, right. It's not the way that you're raised to be. So I definitely didn't understand why my cousins, my male cousins, my brother was allowed to go out, and they were like, well, when he's 18, he can do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, what? Excuse me?
Right, what's the difference?
What about me? Right. Like, I've always felt like I've been a good child. I've been a good kid. You know, I went to school, I graduated. I've always had 2 jobs. So I didn't understand why, because I'm a woman, I can't go out. Like, my mom would always tell me that when she was younger, she was like my age, she would go out, but her parents would always go with her. And she was like in her 20s.
Oh, wow.
So she's like, that was never seen before. And I don't know if it's because I'm like mixed, that I'm like a little more Americanized, but I'm like, I think that's weird.
Wait, I didn't know you were mixed.
I am. I'm 100% Latina, but I'm Dominican, Puerto Rican.
Oh, wow.
And
that's crazy.
I know. And then I grew up here, so it's like,
you were exposed to more of the American, like, individual culture.
Yeah, but not just that, but like my dad's half Puerto Rican, and his culture is a little more Americanized.
Okay.
So it's like he's like the more independent, but then my mom's like more conservative, old school. I mean, I guess for us, it was always important for their kids to get an education and to improve and work. Definitely with the pageants, you see a lot of independent women who want to further their career. To me, there's nothing wrong with being in a swimsuit and being on stage, and that's another misconception.
That's what I kind of wanted to touch on, is that there's that stigma of pageant girls that are kind of just like, oh, they're just pretty girls that are trying to make money that way. But I feel like there's a whole, like you said earlier, like the thing that you liked about the pageant was the process, was going through it. Kind of, I'm guessing that includes like meeting the girls, going through the dress rehearsal and everything, kind of like just preparing to do it, and then being on stage, you enjoy that feeling. So I think, I'm gonna let you talk about it because you're the one that knows about it.
So every organization has something that they represent, whether it's domestic violence awareness, or it's the travel train, not the travel train. No, the smile train. So it's like children who suffer from like are born with a cleft lip.
Okay.
So they're trying to raise awareness because it affects someone on their day to day, like as far as like eating or just anything simple. It's something that they want to raise awareness to help these children get back and going with their lives. Yeah,
that's something that doesn't really get talked about. Because that's something I've seen growing up, but as now that I'm older, I don't really see it being, because you always see the commercials and you always see kind of like the sad stories, but nobody has ever kind of they haven't really publicized it. Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's definitely a job. It's a lot of work to get on that stage. A lot of people will tell you it's not all it is. It's like a pretty girl in a dress. Like, it's not true. The prettiest girl doesn't always win the pageant.
Oh, for sure. I've seen that.
The most confident girl who goes in there, who puts in the most work, is the girl that's going to walk out. Typically walks out with the title. But it's a whole year of just doing community work, serving the people, raising awareness for your state, for your city, for what you're representing.
Wow.
I'm gonna say like a small portion of it is just like it's literally
what you see,
right. Like, it's not you model on stage and you're in a dress and a bikini, but like you're not walking around in a dress and a bikini your entire reign.
There's
this is a job. Like, that's just part of it, but after the job, it's more, like I said, community work, helping individuals who don't have food on the table. So working with your local organization to help raise food or get budgets to help those families or individuals who are struggling financially.
Okay. So it's kind of, some people might disagree with this, but you guys are basically doing what athletes do.
A lot of people will try and argue this, but when you're training for a pageant, you are training, like,
because you guys train. You have to eat a certain way. You're preparing for a competition, and it's like you're doing everything so that when the competition comes, like, you're prepared, but you still have to perform when you're at the competition, and you're performing to win. So that's basically what we do in sports. Yeah, it might be a different process, but at the same time, it's the same kind of
Same concept.
Yeah, it's the same concept. Exactly.
So there are girls who train twice a day.
Oh, that's crazy.
For competing in pageants.
I can imagine.
They'll wake up early in the morning, they'll go to the gym, they'll go on with their day, and then they'll go again at night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just about like the work ethic, what your personal goal.
Yeah.
That's the key point. It's like I feel like pageants teach you that discipline.
Because I think, like you said earlier, it's not just the prettiest girl that gets up there wins. Like you have to do everything a certain way in order to just make it into that final competition. Yeah. And then when you get there, it's like all these other girls worked really hard to get here too. So yeah, I think it's really easy, especially in the society that we're coming out of, because I don't really think our culture is there as much anymore. But it was very much like we just look at what we see and then we judge it. You know, like we see the pageant, we're like, oh, just pretty girls that they, you know, whoever they selected to be in the competition, just to do whatever it is that they want to do. Yeah. But then you get into like the actual process of what's going on, and you understand that there is more than just the looks. And I think what you said earlier, I kind of wanted to mention while you were talking about like how women are kind of treated, is that it's really easy for us to blame the women as men because there's no accountability. You know, everything is the woman has to act a certain way, and the man is not held accountable for anything that he does.
And like I agree with you.
When they tell you not to go out is because they don't want a guy to take advantage of you. Right. You know, but it's like, why don't we just tell the guys not to do that?
or it's like also, for example, you're a woman, you're in a relationship with a male, and something happens, you guys break up, or he decides he wants to go with someone else. When people are like, well, she couldn't keep her man. She couldn't. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's like, well, maybe he didn't want, like, maybe he just likes most, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. It's never the fact that he decided to go because of his own reasons. It has to be somebody's fault.
It always has to do with the woman.
Yeah.
Or, like, if a woman were to do what is acceptable for a male to do, it's like she's looked down upon. So it's like, oh, she cheated on her like, what? I'm not saying that this is acceptable, but I'm just trying to say, like, there's double standards there.
It is. Yeah, I agree for sure. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic.
No, that's good. But I mean, it's a good point to hit on, because it's something we've seen a lot of change, but it's still something that we see.
Yeah. So do you as far as the pageants, I guess, what is kind of like, what motivates you to do it all the time? Because I can imagine that gets tiring. You know, there's sometimes, because even as an athlete, when I was really into, like, when I was playing sports every day of the year, sometimes you're just kind of like,
well, when you have a passion for something, it doesn't really feel like work, even though you are working towards a goal. You know, it's just you do things differently when it's with passion. Yeah. For me, it's very important to represent the Latino community in the United States. There's not a lot of Latina women in the United States competing in pageants, representing their culture, not just their culture, but like we're also American women. So we're kind of mixing in the two together and showing how hard it is for us to get here to begin with. We're starting from the bottom. We're coming from most of us are first generation Americans, like me, myself. I think like you guys are first generation also, right?
Sort of, yeah.
So just showing the work ethic and all that hard work that it takes just to be on that stage alone. The work from there on is still hard, but
it's more worth it.
Yes, I think for me it was like, I didn't have anything handed to me at all. I've always had to work for everything that I have. So I've always had 2 jobs, and that discipline comes from the hard work that I've seen my parents do. I've always seen especially the female in my family. It's like they've always been business owners, very independent. My dad's always been very hardworking, very responsible, but they threw it down and they were able to get through this. But that work ethic is what was instilled in me. And I'm like, I have to speak more about our community and our peoples and our struggle and just what the modern day woman is facing. So I feel more passion than anything for this.
That's good. That's like, because when I asked you that question, I'm thinking like, yeah, I played sports, but at the same time, I wasn't doing it for the passion, like you're saying. So it would make sense. Obviously, I played baseball and football, and I loved it. I enjoyed it very much, and I still play baseball. But it was like I was kind of doing it just to do it. Right. I didn't necessarily have that like why in the back of my head that was kind of pushing me forward, which is probably why that's probably the difference between what we're talking about here. But the fact that you have all these people that kind of pushed you towards it is super interesting because
well,
it's
actually not really.
It's like, well, it's
I think for my dad is like anti-pageant because I think the misconception is like beauty pageants. Originally, it was about the most beautiful woman.
Yeah.
But today and day, it's not even about the beauty at this point. It's so much more than that. I think it's more about what they represent.
Yeah, exactly.
The hard work that they've put in. These women are like going to school. They're getting their doctor's degrees. Like they're opening businesses. They're doing their own thing. And that's what I really love about it. It's not just be a woman, learn how to cook and clean.
Yeah.
And you'll be set. You'll find the perfect husband. So
okay. So is that why you're doing real estate? You kind of like, is that kind of what you're interested in?
Well, I do real estate now. I'm a full-time real estate agent right now, and I personally love it. It's more about I've always loved different multiple streams of income, like finding different ways to make money for yourself. So I worked the typical 9-to-5. And it wasn't cutting it for me. I think with the real estate, is like your cap, your income is
whatever you do is what you're gonna get back. Yeah.
I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and as I was reading this book, it resonated so much because you're just reading. Half of the book is talking about what we're taught in school. So it's like, okay, go to school. Go to college, get a good job, get a mortgage, have a family. The rest of
your life in debt.
And live your... Exactly.
Yeah.
And with the book, they're basically teaching us that, well, you don't necessarily need college. You don't necessarily have to buy your dream house. It teaches you more about buying assets versus liabilities.
Yeah.
So buying, let's say, a $400,000, $500,000 house is technically, if you can't really afford it and almost all your money, that's a liability for you.
Yeah.
I think what the book is teaching us is a way to make money for yourself with real estate. So, for example, you can buy yourself a multi-unit, maybe like $150,000 worth. But with that investment, now you're getting a stream of income that's coming in.
Because you're renting it out.
So it's teaching you financial independence. And when I started reading that, I said, well, real estate is a male-dominated field. And, me being a very independent woman who doesn't like to be told I can't do what a man can do.
Yeah.
Why can't
You saw that as like kind of a challenge.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
And
it's sorry to interrupt you, but it's funny that you say that it's male-dominated. I would say like almost 90% of the real estate agents that I know are female. But what you're saying is still true. It's just... To me, like if you were to ask me as my younger self, who's like who's a real estate agent more often than not, I would have said female.
A female.
But that's just because that's my experience. But then when you look at the scope of the entire country, at least it's like it's one of those things like you said that's more male dominated.
Yeah, I guess the way I mean it is like when it comes to like investments.
Well, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Yeah,
I think most of the time, actually all of the times when I've had an investor come to me, it's a male.
Yeah.
It's mostly males. Like females, they'll a lot of females sell real estate, but you're not gonna find that many female real estate agents investing. Or working, or like investors that are looking to work with real estate agents are like mostly males.
Between the sales and the actual kind of like, I guess, I don't know much about real estate as far as the positions that can be held, but
It really depends on everyone, because there's people who will buy a property, will never see the property, have people to fix it up for them.
Yeah.
They just have the money to put into it. Mm-hmm. They have the money, you do the work,
let everyone else
and I just cash out at the end.
Yeah.
But there's other people who they purchase the house themselves or the investment, they flip it themselves, they do all the work, all the hard work and labor, and then
I've seen that.
They sell it. But I guess my point is that we're mostly seeing males doing these things. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's definitely changing a lot, and we've evolved a lot.
So, for real estate, what is like something that you really? What has been your biggest challenge in real estate, besides obviously breaking through the glass ceiling and that kind of thing? But I mean more like personal, something more specific to what you've been doing.
Believe it or not, I faced a lot of discrimination coming into real estate. For being a woman, for being a Latina woman.
Yeah.
You definitely hear simple comments like I'll send out an email and I haven't received a response. So I'll let the person know, like, or a client know, like, hey, I haven't heard back from X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on. And they've made comments like, well, maybe if your last name was Smith, you'd get a faster response.
Damn.
Exactly. I had another mail, and it was like a referral coming from another agent that I work with around here, and he sent it over to me, and he's like, he's a little tough to work with, but, and I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
So I get on the phone with him, and he's like, wait, you're a female. And I said, yeah, yes, I am. Yeah. He said, well, I specifically told the other agent that I didn't want to work with the female.
Wow. So the other agent knew already.
He knew, but I guess he had the connection with me because I'm coming from another state. So he said, he basically said, I no offense, but I don't want to work with a female because they have too much going on. They're multitasking too much. They don't really know much about real estate. And on top of that, I don't want to have to worry about a woman taking care of kids and doing all this nonsense. And I'm
super stereotypical. Yeah.
Extremely stereotypical. And I was, okay, I let it slide.
Yeah. Like it's like he had a checklist of the most stereotypical and problematic things that you could say to a woman. You know, you're still super young. What, like,
I appreciate that. I don't feel like young anymore.
But it's kind of like you're almost looking forward because you know it's not going to stop right now. Do you think it'll be worth it for you at the end of the day?
Of course. You know, I think every day you learn something new.
Yeah.
You're never going to have two clients that are completely alike. Everyone's different. They have different tastes, different personalities. So, you know, not everyone's personality will align with yours. And it's not necessarily something that's your fault. It's also hard. Working with human beings is hard.
We're complicated people. When you are, I think that you become successful in something like this when you learn how to work with people that don't align with your personality. Like, it's easy when you guys like catch the vibe and you're just like, you know, bop, email, message. You know, you guys are on the same page all the time. But when you're with somebody that's like clashing with everything, maybe they're a little late responding, or maybe they want you to respond faster, whatever the situation may be, it makes it a lot harder. But I think those are the people that we, just working in like a service industry in general, when you're like working to sell something to somebody or trying to get them to invest in something, is kind of figuring out how to work around the more difficult clients. Yeah.
I guess we're talking about the negative, but it's not all negative. There's definitely more positives to it.
Yes.
But I guess we started off with that one question. But ultimately, like, you're helping people with mostly like their only asset, or you're helping them with like a stream of income. So you're dealing with thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars. So you have to really make sure that you're on point with everything that you're doing. At the end goal is just seeing the happy faces that goal was accomplished. I'm just the kind of person that I will work around it. Like, there's other people that are like, well, it didn't work out, let's just move on to the next client. Like, they have enough clients to move on to, but
you try to make it work with that one.
I'm like very persistent.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
And I want to make sure that we get to this end goal, unless it's absolutely impossible.
Yeah,
but
I feel like that's super valuable, though. You know, that's like that. That's a lot of respect towards you because, like you said, some people have enough clients that they don't even care if they lose a client or not. They don't care if this client is able to reach their goal of, you know, getting a house or buying or getting into an apartment.
I agree.
But when you have a real estate agent that actually cares about seeing this through, I feel like that's way more valuable to a client. And you'll probably build a better relationship with them too.
Yeah. You know, and also like, and even with them, it's, okay, you have some clients who might not have the best credit score and may not have their financial goals accomplished at a certain age, but they reach out to you and they're like, I want to buy a house. And you already know that this person will not qualify for a mortgage or anything along those lines, but you work with that person, you give them advice and tips, and you watch them grow throughout the years. And at the end of the day, when they're ready to buy, they're going to come to you because they trust you.
Yeah, and you built that you invested in them in that way. Even though it wasn't a money thing, it was kind of like you put your time and effort into their growth.
Yeah.
So now when they finally are able to get into a situation where they can buy a house, get into an apartment, whatever it is, they're going to come to you, like you said, because they trust you and because it's like their return on investment.
Right. Like I have a good friend of mine that her credit score was in the 500s. And I told her, you're probably not going to qualify for a mortgage. But I was working with her. I gave her some advice. And there's people who have no credit and then there's bad credit. So if you have no credit, it's actually better because you can build on that. But when you have bad credit, okay, you need to hit on the hard inquiries and see what's going on. Typically, you're going to see medical bills. It's very common and it's very unfortunate, too, that it's affecting someone's credit score. But unfortunately, that's just life. Your
credit score is bad. All your money is going to your medical bills, so it's like that cycle, you know.
Yeah, I heard 70% of people who lose their homes are due to medical bills.
Oh wow, that's a crazy stat. I don't think that's bad.
Yeah,
70% because of medical bills.
So that was a stat a few years ago. Right now, a lot of people are selling because of divorces because of the pandemic.
Yeah. And that's crazy how you kind of get like an inside look at that. Because hearing it is one thing, but seeing it is like you actually experience. You're like, this is real. Like this is happening every day to people.
We've all been affected in some shape or form.
Like, do you have people that spent years to build something and then because of one event, everything is gone for them?
Yep. So especially like the new small business owners when the pandemic first happened. So they were giving help like the PPP loans, but if you didn't have if you didn't file for taxes a year before, you didn't qualify for anything. Wow, so like crazy. If you started your business in February or like January, like it was there was no way you were going to qualify for anything.
Yeah. And I just like not talking to you is kind of like making me think about all the small businesses that I've like taken advantage of because I've tried to make that a big part of how I spend my money nowadays. But when I think about like these people, to us, it seems very. I was thinking about this earlier today. Actually, it seems very inconvenient that small businesses operate the way that they do because they close a little earlier. They don't always have everything that you're looking for. But at the same time, it's like this is. How do I want? It's kind of like you're giving your money to a human. You know, like you're helping somebody pay their bills.
Their business.
You know, to pay for their business, feed their family, their kids, put them in school. Like just kind of like. And they're doing this because they either, I mean, there's multiple reasons why they open a small business, but for the most part, it's because they want to be doing it. Yeah. You know? So you're, not only are you giving them and helping them with their livelihood, but you're kind of also like encouraging them. You know, like, hey, like this is actually very useful to me. Like, keep doing this. Like, I'm trying to help you grow your business. And I don't think people see it that way. They're like, oh, like they close at 9 p.m. Like I don't want to be there. I want to go to Walmart that closes at midnight. So I'm just going to go as late as possible instead of, like, we could go earlier for sure. Yeah. We just, because we have the convenience of a Walmart or a Target or, like, a Home Depot that can close late because they have a bunch of employees, we will go there and we'll just completely forget about the small businesses that might give you a discount. They'll build a personal relationship with you. And it's just, it's like way more authentic in my experience. But yeah, I think small businesses is another focus.
It's a big portion of our economy too.
Yeah. As far as I think, small businesses accounted for. I don't want to misinform here, but I know that they accounted for a little over or a little under 50% of the amount of businesses. I think it was like the number of businesses that were in our country, but they only made up like 15% of the income. Like because obviously like the corporations make like the big portion of the pie.
Right.
But I think people see that and they don't realize that these small businesses aren't a bigger portion is because the money is not going to investors. The money is not going to shareholders. The money is going either back into the community or to paying bills. You know, so the country doesn't they don't
completely collapse.
Yeah, exactly. They're holding. They always say, you know, the middle class is the backbone of this country, at least because we're the ones that are spending money, fueling the economy, but also making it. In turn,
The big portion of the taxpayers are middle class.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I think we're getting to that time. Is there anything that you kind of want to really hit on before we wrap this up?
I guess I would just emphasize on continuing to speak on mental illness. Like I'm a spokesperson for the NAMI organization, and the big part of it is even though it's virtual, but we give people resources they need. We kind of coach them and help individuals in the school setting, not just the school setting, but like individual family members who are dealing with this at home. And we're just talking to them, having that conversation and, sharing our experiences. This is something that I'm completely familiar with. These are the organizations or the places that you can go to. Like I've gone to universities, like I went to the University of Delaware to speak to the sorority group. And one of the things that we focused on was the key points, like where do you go if you see someone struggling to this? How do you approach a person who is...
Like the human skills.
You can't just approach to someone like, tell me what's going on. No one's going to tell you off the bat, but there's ways around it. Definitely just check up on them, give them their space, but just know when someone needs a friend to listen to.
What was the organization that you mentioned?
The National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Okay, yeah. I want to make sure that I get them in there too, so I can put that out there. But yeah, is there just kind of... I meant to ask you this earlier, but is that connected to your pageant?
Well, I definitely use it as a platform. Okay. Because with the pageants, you have a voice that you always have a voice, but you have a greater voice, and you have a greater number of people that are watching you or looking up to you, and it's definitely a great platform for you to speak on. Yeah. I think you should take advantage of those platforms because it is a job, and if there's one thing I would like to focus on, it is that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's good that you use that because you could go up there and just like do whatever it is that you please, but you're choosing to use that platform to advocate for something that you care about. So I think that's really good. And then I guess would you say that's kind of like one of your highlights of the pageants is kind of being able to have that platform to advocate for those kinds of things?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. That's good stuff. Well, Jennifer, thank you. Thank you for hopping on.
Thanks, Sandy, for having me.
Yeah, this has been another episode of the Sandbar, and I'm gonna have Jennifer's information in the show notes. I'll put the mental health organization down there too. Thank you. Thank you for hopping on the Sandbar.